big off-grid setup in a Bushmaster. It's huge. Stick around. Simultaneous running of the microwave and air conditioner, all from batteries. That was quick. G'day guys, Manny Extreme Auto, Caravan and Camping with you again. Another big off-grid setup, this time in a Bushmaster. So these guys have made the trek all the way over from Victoria to get this setup done. So, as with all of my jobs, a little bit different. This one, old mate's got a tow vehicle in the form of a Ram, and it's quite some distance away from where the batteries are. And with all of the charge methods we have, solar, vehicle and mains, and you have lithium, we always try and maximize it. And when you are able to go off grid and replenish your new lithium battery bank really quick, it just gives you more freedom and more time to be able to, well, not run engines, not run generators and stuff. So that's the idea of big DC charging, and this one is a cracker. So, quick story before I get into the rundown. With all the global stuff that's going on, shortage of stock and all that, it's never really hit us hard at all. We've been very lucky to kind of scave through without any delays on products, with the exception of one product, and that's the 100 amp buck booster from Victron. Absolute great product, but we've found it very, very difficult to get our hands on one. So we've had to look for alternatives, and at the end of the day, it's a DC to DC charger from the vehicle. All right, it's just a fully programmable DC charger. I love them. I personally run a Victron buck booster, the 100 amp version. Can't speak more highly of it. It's great. Plug it in your laptop, fully program it. Now, it does not talk to the CerboGX. There's no data communication. It's basically a DC charger, and you will see its monitoring of, you know, the amperage going in and out via the shunt, which is up on the Cerbo. So at the end of the day, it's a DC charger that just shows up on the battery, so amps in and out. So if you know it's running, you look at the screen. So that means really the vehicle side of things, until Victron in their Orion range or their buck booster, whichever range they start to do it in, put a V direct port or some CAN port to be able to talk to the system. Until that day comes, you'll never ever see it up on the screen as a separate item like you'll see the solar or the inverter. You won't see it as a product. You'll only see its result on the battery. Keep that in mind when I'm about to speak to you about what's going on here. Old mate still wanted that charge rate. He can support it. So what other programmable options do we have that's going to work in such a tight spot? I could have gone for 3 Orions, maybe 2 of the 50 buck boosters, same thing, very hard to get. 3 Orions would be 90 amps, take up a big space. You know, you've seen the size of those things. Beautiful product. You see me fit them, but would have taken up a lot of space. I actually wouldn't have fitted it in here. Couple of Vendor 40 pluses, same thing, quite a large product. Great product, but very large. I definitely wouldn't fit them in here. What else is there? There's a couple of other products out there, but you guys know my go-to and the reasons behind it. So I've chosen 2 Redarc 50 amp DC to DC chargers for vehicle charging on this. Now, no, I cannot plug them into a laptop. No, I have very limited programmability, if any at all, on them. It's basically set it for lithium and that's it. But what we've done is to give him a 50 amp or a 100 amp charge rate, we've put them on decent quality ignition protected waterproof auto breakers. So they cover the output. So he's able to separate the DC chargers completely, or have one on if he wants to, or both on at the press of a button. So if old mate's putting a big lithium system in his vehicle and he's really going to load that alternator up, you know, this is going to want to take 100, maybe 110 amps, 115 amps on the input side of these DC chargers, that full song. If he's charging another battery in there with a 50 or something, well, at least he can cut one of these off to limit that current, so he's able to charge the full system from his one alternator. And that's what we've done. So we've gone for 2 Redarc 50s in this, guys, with full control, well, I call it split control. So he's able to turn one off and leave one running, or he can turn them both off. It's there, it's done, and it's small. You know, these things are only 40 mil, 50 mil high tops. You've seen how wide they are. They're no bigger than like 2 of my hands like this. So to fit 100 amps of DC charging in like 200 and something mil wide is awesome. So that's the vehicle charging, guys. 100 amps from his engine. So he's got a RAM. So we've had to put very thick cabling in, guys. So it's 25 mil from where I'm standing through the drawbar and then into his RAM. And we've gone for the 120 amp Anderson plug. So that's the big one up from the 50. You can go up to the 175, huge and cumbersome. Nah, don't like it. The 120 is a really good size. It's not too big, obviously not too small. It can handle the current, and it'll take a 25 mil cable any day of the week, and it clicks in perfectly. So 25 mil cable for the DC charging on the RAM for this, and we've already tested that. We're getting nearly 100 amps, 98 to be exact. So that's a big tick in my box for those DC chargers to work properly. That's vehicle charging, 100. Solar on this one is next level. Now this isn't a huge van, all right? So the Bushmaster, it's not a monster. It's not a 23 plus foot van, but there's a lot of solar. So there's 4 200 watt exotronic panels split up. So 2 on this side, on the driver's side, 2 on the passenger side. So there's the 800 watts. He has another 3 160s around the rear. Right, so there's another 480 watts. That's on one solar controller. So keep up here. 3 solar controllers so far. A 4th solar controller, guys. A 4th solar controller is running another 200 watts on the front angle. So you can add that up. That's a lot. Yeah, where am we at? 1480 watts. 1480 watts, guys. Monstrous charge rates. That solar will work at the same time as this DC charger. So this solar array on the roof is going to be pumping in well over 100 amps. That's fact. The numbers add up to that. It will do that in good sun. Not today, unfortunately. I'm in a lot of shade and trees. So 100 coming from the vehicle, 100 coming from the roof. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to work those up. This 200 amps, guys. Like, they're just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, look, if you've got the alternator that can handle it, and you've got the roof space to do it, and you've got a good quality lithium battery then that can accept it, then do it. And you know, you've got a good system to manage that charge rate, do it. So I reckon that's the chargers out of the way. Multiplus inverter charger here. So that's the 120 amp Multiplus 12 3000. So yes, running on all the factory outlets, your microwave, your air conditioner, all of their GPOs and outlets by your bed, you know, for your hairdryer outside. There's 2 on this for induction cooking. So I'll make it be induction cooking with the air conditioner running without a drama. You don't have to run one or the other, all right? Not like some other the inverters out there. He can put the microwave on if he wants to. This system can support those multiple loads at the same time. You might not think it's important, but just picture yourself camping, guys. In the middle of the bush, no generator, right? This thing will never see a generator. It won't need one. But if you're in the middle of the bush and, it's stinking hot, for whatever reason, the misso's in here, having to read a book, she's got the air conditioner going, you want to cook up some snags. You've had a couple of brews and you're snag happy outside with the induction cooker. Well, can you imagine just opening up the door saying, hey babe, can you shut your air conditioner down while I do some cooking for 20 minutes or something? Well, you know what the answer is going to be. So with other systems that limit you to what you can run from a single inverter, the Victron's very different. It has an overload function that'll allow you to run twice its output for up to about 30 minutes without any dramas. Even if you exceeded that time limit, it'll just shut down and beep at you and say, hey, turn off, and then reset. Very cool to be able to do that. So old mate can be making his snags, missus can be inside with the air conditioner on reading a book. You don't have to turn one off to keep one happy. So that's the Victron system, guys. So yeah, Multiplus inverter charger, the Victron here. 4 solar controllers, guys. We've got the little MPPT 120, taking care of the 200 at the front. We've got the 100/30, taking care of 400 watts, so 2 200s here. The other 130 taking care of the other 2 100s on the passenger side there. And then we've got the larger 50 taking care of the 3 160 amp watt panels at the rear. It's a lot of charge rate to come in, and they're all networked together, guys. So all of these solar controllers talk to each other for synchronized charging, and it's all measured at the shunt. So the little sensing wire that comes off the battery here is its voltage sensing for those, and they're about 1 meter away. And that's how we do it. We allow the charge controllers to know exactly what's going on at the point of charge, rather than take it from the cable, which is some 1.2 meters away. Then you would get a voltage loss over the cable, and the charge rate would be slightly inaccurate. This way it allows the batteries, the chargers, to put out exactly what's required at the point of charge, which is the batteries. So 2 Redarc 50s for DC charging there, guys. Now the solar inputs on these, we've utilised them. I mean, why not? They've got solar inputs. So old mate said, look, I want 2 Anderson plugs. So we've done that. We've put an Anderson plug on the passenger side for him for unregulated solar, 600 watts, no problem. Same with the other side, driver's side here. We've got another Anderson plug for unregulated solar, 600 watts. So if these guys really wanted to plug in a 600 watt fold out over there and a 600 watt fold out over there, they can. The system will support that, and they'll run through the Redarcs and charge, and you will see the monitoring up on the Cerbo and Touch 50. Very cool. Everything has a label. Output breakers have a label. It's all here, very easy to see. Anyone can put their head in here and change a fuse if they need to, or disable something, hit a switch, she's off. Now over to the business side of things. This is where it all comes from. It is a tight spot, but I keep harping on about these PowerPool batteries. They are so tiny in their case, because they are almost the same size as the actual cell that is used in the product. So the 3.2 volt EVE cells that Paul uses in his Scouts, pretty much the width and height is exactly what the battery is, slightly higher. But my point being is they're very small and compact. So I'm able to squeeze 10 kilowatt hours in this location, guys. That's 3 280 amp Scouts all down here in this tight location. If you had to remove them, you pull one out and then the other 2 come out. You don't have to pull a cupboard apart or anything like that. We've fitted it and designed it for that. It is strapped in on metal brackets. They're not going anywhere. They are very secure. All strapped in with all the cabling, as you can see. Double A&Ls for the Multiplus inverter charger. We've used old mate's existing circuit breaker because it was one of those push button, manual reset breakers. It was outside. Obviously, this was a battery relocation. So upon bringing the cabling inside, the breaker was there. It's a brand new van. So we've used it inside just to make it easy for our mate to store it, and he can press a button and kill the 12 volt. Even though he's going to master switch here, just saved him some money, a few bucks here and there. It all adds up, doesn't it? Didn't need a MIDI fuse, so there it is, reused his existing breaker, and we're all happy there. All the dual 50 cable that's running, the smart shunt is down there, very hard to see. I'll try to do some zoom ups for you guys so you can see it. We've gone for a terminal post on this instead of a bus bar. Bus bar would have been a bit long and cumbersome to get the cables through. So we've gone for a single post to keep the line dead straight, and that's where all the charge sources come in. So all the high current stuff comes in through one post, and all the loads and charges on that side as well to come out of that single post. So the way the batteries are, battery 1 is kind of over there. I'll bring you down. So battery 1, battery 2, battery 3. So power is coming, all the loads and stuff come from here, and then all of the, it gets split over to this one. And it's hard to see all the 3 negatives dropping back there, but it's down tight there, really close. So very short cable runs happy. So we've got a meter between the inverter and the batteries here. So you can see them all tucked away. So there's the 150, the 130, the other 130 there, and the 120. Taking care of all the 1480 watts of roof solar. There's the Multiplus 12 3120 amp inverter charger. There's the 2 Redarc 50 amp DC chargers from that 120 amp Anderson. And here's your little switches on top here that we can control. So if I wanted to turn one off, that'll turn it off. These control the output, all right, not the input. So they will control what's going into these into this 10 kilowatt hour battery. And you can kill them both if you wanted to, but yeah, and it's all labelled left and right, so you know what's what. All the fuses here for the solar is there, nice and easy to see. We even label in front of the trunkie just to make it easier for some people. Venting. Okay, so we've gone for a, I'll bring it around here, a bit tight, little brushless fan pulling some air out that is temperature controlled. So it's hard to see the temperature sensor. We've fitted a temperature sensor at the top of this cavity, so it's able to monitor the temperature in this cavity. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vents on this because it is a very enclosed environment. And with that fan pulling air out, so it's at the highest point, right, and it's active now. You can hear it. You don't even know it's running, it's that quiet. The only thing you will hear from it is the air it's moving, but these guys have a compressor fridge anyway. I can't hear this now. I can actually hear the compressor fridge over this, so it's a lot louder than that. This will turn on, I think I've set it to turn on at 22 and off at about 19 or 18. I'll make and change that. We'll look at the graph as time goes on to adjust that accordingly, but it's all just done up on the touchscreen, nice and easy there. It's also added a Ruby tag on this to monitor the fridge temperature in this, so I'll make and see what the fridge is doing. If it's defrosting, he can set alarms, and it's all monitored on the VRM portal pretty much forever. No onboard Wi-Fi in this one, so until our mates get some Wi-Fi, he'll be able to put this up on the internet. Then he can remotely monitor it, as can I do some programming for him. But for now, pretty much it is all active in the local area. So all of the products have Bluetooth. If you want to log on to a solar controller, all on your smartphone. If you want to log on to the batteries, the smartshunt, log on to your smartphone. All data logged and easy to see. So we'll go up the screen, put the microwave on. Old mate's got a kettle here, we'll put some things on. Got the air conditioner flying up right now, and we'll do some rundowns for you guys, and I'll also get this vehicle cranking. I want you to see this 100 odd amps coming in. It's next level. Alright, I see a kettle. Kettle on, that'll be Russell Hobbs electricity company loving kettle. And it is, look at that, over 2,000 watts. And we are only pulling 156. Oh, the air conditioner should still be on. I'll crank you up. Let that thing ramp up. Got that air conditioner cranking and that kettle. Real quick one. Microwave and kettle. This should throw an alarm, surely. So notice the flashing light on the inverter. Alright, that'll continue to run for up to about half hour. So I'm running the microwave, guys, the air conditioner. Okay, I'll show it to you. Air conditioner running. Microwave's going. That kettle's still boiling. Happy days. Absolute cracker of a system. That's how it's done. And in storage capacity, with 10 kilowatt hours, these guys are not going to they're not going to run out of power in any time soon. I'll tell you that right now. So these guys have the Swift hot water service. All right, the double switch. So he's able to control the electric element on the Swift hot water service. If you guys watch my other videos, it is a 1000 watt element, thereabouts. So old mate specifically said, can we have the hot water service able to be run from the inverter? Had this been a Truma or a Suburban, the answer would be no. Straight out, unless you've got a, well, you probably could if you understood how to manage it, but they're like a 2000 watt element or an 1800 watt element. So they're very thirsty, so they will smash your battery very quick. Plus, like I said to you guys, if you understand the system, I give people the choice to be able to run that hot water service from the batteries. So this one specifically is a Swift. So old mate wanted it to be able to run from the batteries if he runs out of gas. Now this has a compressor fridge, so the only gas appliances on this are gas hot water, the gas top stove. That's it. There's no three-way fridge. So realistically, he shouldn't run out of gas. There's a lot of, you know, dual 9 kilo bottles on this thing. It's going to last for a long time. But if he does, he can run this from the batteries. The other thing I don't speak about enough is superheating the water. With your Swift hot water services, for you guys that do not know, this is whether on your mains power or whatever. If you rock up somewhere and you forgot to put your hot water on before you left home, so your tank is super cold, obviously purge it, make sure it's full of water, turn both switches on. So your electric element is on and your gas is cranking. It'll superheat your water. You'll have hot water within 15 minutes. So what I do, I have a Swift hot water service. I've got about the same amount of energy as these guys have. These guys actually have more solar. I've got the same battery capacity though. I turn my hot water service on before I leave. So while I'm driving, I've got my hot water service on. I leave my pump switch on. That's to keep the hot water service full. I crack my tap and make sure hot water is, water is in the hot water service to not dry out the element. And I run it. And I can guarantee you when I arrive, because we always drive for more than an hour, maybe an hour and a half, I will have hot water when I arrive. And when I've got hot water, I'm happy, Mrs. is happy, daughter's happy, everyone's happy. Happy campers. Pretty cool system, guys. Hope that's answered a few of your questions. If you have some more questions on the system or any one of our systems, or if you guys want to set up like this, hit us up. All the W's, extremeacc.com.au, or just go to YouTube or go to all the socials and search for us. Follow our links there and put an inquiry in, and we'll be with you in short time. We're pretty flat out, like as it is now. What are we in now? Lose track of the days. We're middle of November. We're flat out to August. It is crazy. So that's fully booked, guys, to August as this goes out. So I'll do some more zoom ups and close ups. And yeah, we'll get some rundowns. I'll get old mate's vehicle cranking. I want to see that one. Stick around. Just move spots. How's that for solar, guys? Have you ever seen numbers like this before? So got the kettle going and what, the air conditioner, haven't we? Yeah. Look at that, pretty consistent. How's that for energy? 1500 watts. Sun's going behind a cloud again. Nah, she's staying out. We got kettle going and the air conditioner, yeah? Cold water. Hot water. Oh, and the hot water service. Yes. Yeah, I forgot. Alright, so you guys just saw the wattage from the solar. What we're going to do is, so that kettle's still boiling, that is full of water. This is going on 16 flat out, and we've got the Swift hot water service cranking at the moment just to suck some energy out of the system because it's just so full. And you can see the discharge happening here. Alright, so we're pulling some good energy out of these Powerpole batteries. We're going to get old mate to start the vehicle up. Yeah. And we're going to get these puppies to kick in, these DC chargers, see what sort of charge rates we get. Let's keep watching this, guys. Try and keep it in real time for you. We'll shine down there so you can see when both Redarcs kick in simultaneously. Let's watch them. So we're at idle, engine's running at idle. Alright, bang, there's both of them kicked in. Let's see if we can get 100 off this number. There she goes. not as impressive when you go from minus 300 down to minus 200. That means nothing to a lot of people. She's dropping. Kettle's still running. You want to see my loads, guys? There it is. Still dropping. Those Redarcs are kicking in. It's going to bottom out into the low 200s. It's the 2 Redarcs and they're still running. So now what we'll do is we're going to shut down all the loads. We'll get rid of this number, alright? And we'll just focus on charge rates. Let's do that. Alright, so just got the engine running now, and there we go. So that's both Redarc DC chargers running together. There we have them. So I'll kill one to show you how the output halves. So we're pumping in 1600 odd watts from the vehicle at the moment, so 128 odd amps. Right, so 20 would be coming from the solar and 100 from the DC charger. So I'm going to take 50 off that number now. So I'll just kill one. There we go. So one of the outputs will stop. Then we'll drop back to the 70s, which it has. 81. High 70s coming up. Oh, we've got more solar now. Here we go. So that's the 50 off. Now if we add that 50 again, we just bring that switch back on. That'll be the other DC charger, and that'll ramp back up to that 120 mark. Beautiful. What a system. Get some sun again. We're going to try and capture this vehicle and solar charging. And the air conditioner running. Nah, what we'll do is we'll turn the air conditioner off because I want to do the 100 amp DC charging and solar. Watch these numbers, guys. This is in real time. Oh. 2,500 watts total, mate. Yep, 2,400. 1,530 from the solar. Holding. 177 amps combined. 2,400 watts. That's vehicle charging and solar simultaneous, guys. You're going to fast charge. This is how you do it. I'm going to try and get all the solar controllers moving from absorb to bulk. Try and capture this. There you go. See them all go blue?
Yep.
Good, I caught that. It's so hard to capture on camera.
Yeah.